Donk Nation, Jackson, Janet's greetings and welcome to your daily dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some nonsensical Steelers talk here in the offseason, joined by Gingy. We just had an hour-long nonsensical conversation. Gingy, can we try to bring that to the football side of things is the real question.
Mutant Gingy in the house. Holy smokes, can we bring it there to the side? We're going to talk about what this week, Donkey? What do we got? We still got
consumer protection in the form of NFL fans. If we are disappointed at the football game, should we be entitled to a 20% refund?
Get our money back? I don't know about all that, Donkey. We'll have to see, though. I still want to get me some of them new Pegasus, some of them new Nikes when they drop. You know what I'm talking about, Donkey? Them Steelers
I've
shoes.
seen, but dude, I don't know what brand put out, but the ones that put out the Pittsburgh Pirates themed ones that they thought would match the City Connect jerseys this year were pretty freaking slick. I do have to say, Gingy. So we can talk about kicks. I'm all right with that.
I mean, that's nonsensical. That's what I'm looking forward to, though, to see what them look like this year.
Unless they're like $20 at Walmart, or like if for some reason they decide to make a Steelers hiking boot, probably not on things that's going to end up in Donkey's wardrobe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Donkey. No,
dude,
I don't know.
Start seeing NFL collabs with like Merrell boots to try to get football fans into the outdoor activities. That's something I could get behind.
Wow, marketing and PR. You heard it here first. Donk Nation.
I want to. If they do that, I want to cut.
Me, I don't know. I'm still thinking about Steelers roster. Still seeing an unsigned T.J. Watt. Having mixed feelings, Donkey. Where are you at on T.J. Watt?
Honestly, it's a no story to me until he doesn't show up for a game and loses money, or he doesn't show up to that. Right now, I mean, contract talks, woo. He skips some OTAs, woo. Players do that all the time. When it becomes an actual story, I'll get a little concerned. But Gingy, my first thought is, we've never won a playoff game with T.J. Watt. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy, but let's be honest here. We got a big goose egg on the board.
Yeah, but we hardly win any games without T.J. Watt. That's pretty well documented.
Yeah, I would say you're right on that, but at the same time, someone's got to show up in the playoffs. And T.J. Watt, the last 4 games last year when the Steelers needed that defense step and make a play, how many sacks did he have over the last month of the season?
Didn't do it. Didn't get it done.
Zero. How about the year prior? Isn't that when he also went into a power slump in December? Man, I hate to say it. The dude needs to show up in a big moment and make a big play for me to want to pay him $40 million.
Yeah, that's the debate, right? $40 million. He's got to come up big in the big moments. Biggest in the big moments. Has had a hard time staying healthy overall, to be frank.
Back end of his career. Do you really want to see 33-year-old T.J. Watt making $40 million?
That's the tough call.
I'm going to tell you right now. If you don't want
to pay him that, where do you go with him?
You do what you did to Lev Bell. Hey, play out your contract. You're not going to show up. We're going to franchise tag you, and you're going to miss another year. He wants to miss 2 years of his earning potential. Let him do it. I don't think you pay this. I don't think you give a long-term. I think the Steelers will. Personally, I don't think you give him a long-term deal. You tell him, come earn your money now or lose it all. He loses it all this year, franchise tag him, because there's no one else you need to tag next year. He wants to lose it all again next year, let him. It didn't work out for Lev Bell. I don't see it working out for T.J. Watt. Like, not to be that guy.
Cutthroat.
We drafted pass rushers early in the draft the last 2 years when we already had 2 starters. We signed a pass rusher to a pretty substantial deal from the Ravens this offseason. We have the depth there to make it work. Give it a go.
Hey, Donkey, I don't disagree with you. I mean, where do you... I think, though, you could still get some pretty good value.
This is the way I look at it. And no one's going to give you more than probably a late second. Like a team that's competitive will give you a second rounder. I don't think you get a first rounder for TJ Watt. And this is the part that kills me. And you have to think of this somehow. As a team who's supposedly and looking like they're going all in this year, Gingy, how the hell could you sell, trade, and TJ Watt for a second round pick?
I'm thinking there's probably some teams that really want him, though, out there. You might be able to get a deal.
You have to remember, this is kind of like the DK Metcalf situation, except this guy's not 26 years old in his prime. This is an aging star. You have to remember, that team who's trading for him is going to have to pay him big money.
Right.
That tends to kill trade value. That's why DK Metcalf came in at, good value in terms of draft capital needed to acquire. But, yeah, I don't know. It hurts me because I think this team needs to be all in this year with the moves they made already, right? But at the same time, all in doesn't mean paying TJ Watt. This is the way I look at it.
It's very interesting, Donkey. I took the liberty of asking AI what are some of the potential trades that the Pittsburgh Steelers could propose for TJ Watt, and it gave me some interesting outcomes with some teams who are high on this list, maybe for demand. Would you like to maybe think about that, Donkey?
Teams that would want TJ Watt, AI. That means they're going to look through the internet. That means you're going to see the Philadelphia Eagles show up.
That's right.
Probably the New England Patriots show up.
A little bit further down the list. Yep. Detroit Lions actually at the top. Listen to this, Donkey.
Okay, ChatGPT's drunk as hell because TJ Watt can't play in a 4-3.
TJ Watt for Jameson Williams and a second and a third.
Detroit values offense. They're not giving up Jameson Williams straight up for TJ Watt. It's going to be Jameson Williams for TJ Watt and a kicker from the Pittsburgh Steelers. If it's for Jameson, hold on. If we get the deal you just said right there, you do that in a heartbeat. You get 2 draft picks and a first-round wide receiver. Because don't forget, Jameson Williams was a first-round pick who's performed like a first-round pick. Yes, please, sign me up. Where the hell do I buy my jersey?
That's what AI is proposing. Donkey, that might be a long shot, but you see where we're at on that?
Honestly, I know this is going to sound really crazy. Honestly, the deal that, and what's funny is, Gingy, so full disclosure here. So one of the things I was going to say is, Gingy, what's the one trade or move you still think the Steelers need to make this year competitive? And ironically, it was going to be, for me, trading TJ Watt to the LA Chargers in order to get a third-round pick and Quentin Williams, the wide receiver, former first-round pick, who hasn't really overly performed. Because I felt the team needed to improve their offense, and I felt like TJ Watt was the piece to improve it. Just like when I was going to trade him 2 years ago, which would have been better value, for Justin Herbert. I think they could go and they could get value. And ironically, it was for a wide receiver, not one who's performed the way Jameson Williams has, but one who's slightly underperformed and maybe will do better in a different system, and draft capital. So that's kind of, I'm not going to lie, AI and me are similar thoughts, though I think it's a little crazy thinking that we'd be able to get what it thinks we can get. That's
probably true. Can always dream, though, right? Probably. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, Donkley, though, the scenario that you proposed is hopefully the more likely scenario where we can keep him at a point where that salary doesn't start hurting the rest of the team.
I would argue we already did that last time we paid him. Is that salary hindered the team putting, well, to be fair, other ones too on defense, but you look at it, it was like 12% of the cap was his last one. This time he's looking to get somewhere near 20% of the cap as he's older and not as good. It's just, Gingy, it's bad business paying on past production. And I've said this before. We've had this conversation before. That's why the Steelers haven't been a Super Bowl contender in a decade. Is they've paid so much for past production instead of future production, and it really feels like letting George Pickens go because either the attitude thing or the more common thing is they weren't going to pay him anyway. Letting a younger guy go to keep the older aging vet, that's not the Steeler way. At least that wasn't the Steeler way when we were a legit contender for a decade straight, right? Teams who are good don't do that. You let the aging superstar walk and end his career somewhere else. Rod Woodson, Palomalu, it's either get out or go. James Harrison, it's the Steeler way, man. And I don't think they should change it with TJ Watt. They already changed it with guys like Cam Hayward, with guys like Marquise Pouncey, with guys like Ben Roethlisberger. How many times do you hit yourself on the big toe with a hammer, Gingy, before you learn it hurts?
That's a good question. It has been hurting.
I don't think the Steelers even see it as hurt because they're still getting butts in the chairs. They're still selling tickets. It's just, man, I don't know, Gingy, like, what do you think is the right thing to do with TJ Watt?
If we can get another piece on offense, I think that's where we need to go. I hate to say it. I'm not certain that there are better times ahead than
behind,
but, never let that type of guy hear somebody say that, right? Because I'm not going to bet against TJ Watt, and I would hope that he would have an awesome production and get paid a ton.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. He puts up 20 sacks this year. Also wouldn't surprise me if he only played 7 games.
Exactly. It's always been that way, though, as well. He's a big hit or miss type of guy for the season.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be that dude, but man, look at playoff production and look at TJ Watt, and it's just,
But like I said, he's got leverage. He's got leverage when you look at this team's record with him and without him. You just need to make sure he's there.
Regular season-wise, without a doubt, he is a huge contributor. But a lot of those years, it's like TJ Watt gets hurt right before we play the tough stretch of games, or he gets hurt in the first game of the tough stretch of games. How much is it opponents? How much is it TJ Watt? I don't know. Bud Dupree, for that matter, would have a pretty damn good case too, Gingy, because look at Bud Dupree's record with him on the field and look at Bud Dupree's record without him on the field. Like, I hate that as being the argument because was TJ Watt the only superstar hurt? Did it happen to coalesce in a year where Ben Roethlisberger was hurt, for example? Like, that's such a stat to watch yourself on, if you know what I mean, right?
I hear it.
And don't get me wrong, TJ Watt's a great player. He's probably going to be a first ballot gold jacket, bronze bust type of guy, right? If he's not already, he probably is going to finish at that point. Does that mean you should pay that guy? I don't know. Me and you had this conversation at the end of the year. How many playoff wins since TJ Watt has been drafted have been collected by the 2 best pass rushers in football, being Myles Garrett and TJ Watt from the same draft class, right? How many playoff wins do they have, Gingy? 1 to Myles Garrett, and he beat TJ Watt to get it. So one of them was guaranteed to get one. Outside of guaranteed wins, these elite pass rushers have 0 wins between them. Like, let that sink in for a minute. That's nuts. How about Khalil Mack, the elite guy before that? Like, these elite pass rushers, they need to be on the proper team to win. Now, the argument could be, yeah, but what about Denver's defense that won it the whole time? I hear you. That's a great example. But to me, there's been a few rule changes since then that have made it a little even more offensive friendly, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Like, and Gingy, is there any particular pieces you think should be the offensive piece the Steelers look to acquire if they are going to move a TJ Watt?
Oh boy, they need. Wow, I would think probably someone in the modern day NFL. What have we been complaining about? A true number 2. A true number
Or
2 plus a draft pick at wide receiver is what I'm saying. A true number 2 wide receiver to go alongside DK plus a second round draft pick would probably really interest me.
if you could get a true number 2 and a second round draft pick, I would fully take that deal. Because I have a feeling getting a second round draft pick's going to be hard for TJ Watt alone. Yet alone with a productive NFL player. Yeah, I don't know. This one puts me in a hard spot because I do believe this team, because of the way the AFC is set up this year, I think a lot of people are overestimating the AFC. I don't think Kansas City can keep depending on Chris Jones being their whole defense, right? He started to show signs last year that there were struggles. So what's to be done? Is the AFC in a spot where you can take it? Because Buffalo's roster is clearly the weakest it's probably been in 3 years. Baltimore's roster is fully dependent on a 31-year-old running back staying healthy. Cincinnati has no defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers are on the up, but who knows how far that actually goes. Houston it really depends on how good they can protect the quarterback down there and whether or not he can finally take that step forward they've been waiting for. There's just every team in the AFC has an if that it feels like the Steelers need to push the chips in right now if they're going to do it, or they needed to blow it up. But they didn't blow it up. So I feel like you have to go all in. And Gingy, this is where I'm torn. Are you better off with TJ Watt and overpaying him for the next couple years and maybe moving him in the offseason so you make the language of the contract where everybody else takes the cap hit, not you if you trade him, right? And I could see that being a thing. Do you do that and go in this year, or do you try to maximize value of him this year in a trade, or do you know something and he's going to show up and play even if you don't give him a contract? See, I'm not in that place, but I'm going to tell you right now, the two that I'm leaning towards are you play hardball with TJ Watt or you trade TJ Watt. Because I'm very nervous about signing a long-term contract and how that can lock up assets. And even if you are able to offload him in the offseason, if you want to try a whole rebuild, what's the value going to be? So I personally, I'm against the long-term contract. However, I think that's the most likely outcome.
Sounds about right to me, Donkey.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know about that one there, Gingy. That's a little nerve-wracking. So
for me,
Darius
I think it's the
Slay,
perfect time to move him.
Does he have a knee injury already? And go ahead and finish your TJ Watt talk first.
No, I just think it's right now. It's the saddest thing to say, but right now is the tipping point. I think great initial career in Pittsburgh, can still have enough skill to probably get paid somewhere else.
Without a doubt.
In terms of production moving forward, I don't know if that production is going to be able to match what that number is going to have to be, the Myles Garrett number. What Myles Garrett's
40, just under 40, right?
Yeah, 40 million. Are they the same? Are they both 30? Myles Garrett's a little younger, I thought. Yes,
I think he is a little younger than TJ Watt. Yeah, and Myles Garrett has that bigger body type that's just a little more conducive to longevity, right? TJ Watt's a slightly undersized edge rusher. Myles Garrett's definitely not undersized. That dude. So I will give Myles Garrett this. He is one of the freakiest athletes I have ever seen in my life. That Myles Garrett, without a doubt, wins that award.
I know that the TJ Watt camp would never go for this, but I would pay him the big money conditionally upon availability.
No guarantees in his contract. Like, no guaranteed money after year 2. So this year and next year, and then no guaranteed money after that. I would be down. But that's
if you
not
want
what
that
he's
big
going to
money,
sign to.
We'll put it on paper, but you have to earn it. you have to play 15 games, 14 games, something like that. Otherwise, there's going to start being kickbacks. I don't even know if that's legal in the current CBA, but that would be the type of
performance
deal.
incentives. Performance incentives can be put into contracts. However, if you listen to me all off season, my point is I feel all NFL contracts should be fully guaranteed, and then there should be injured player settlements that cannot count against your cap if a player's career ends. But I don't like these guys going out agreeing to money and then not because they're injured, because they didn't have as good of a year, getting cut and losing $22 million. I hate that. I think football contracts should be fully guaranteed. I've been on record saying that. So while it kills me to say that's what I would do to TJ Watt because I hate that practice, it is what I absolutely gotta stay cutthroat, gotta stay in it, gotta stay modern. Oh man, that hurts. That does hurt to say because I like TJ Watt. I think he's been a great performer here. I just it kills me to say we've tried it. We played out this dude's whole prime trying to build Gingy. Fixed. So, Gingy, little audio problem there, but we got the TJ Watt thing pretty much talked down. Sorry if y'all missed a little bit of the closing thoughts, but Gingy was on the lines of a second rounder and a wide receiver is where he stands currently. Fair enough to say?
That's right.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get to a list this week. And Gingy, I wanted to do something, and I wanted to see if you had any that stuck out in your mind. So this is going to be the true blue. Does Gingy have any of these blocks that made you say, "Oh damn," in Pittsburgh Steelers history? Any block that just made you say, "Oh damn," in Pittsburgh Steelers history? Gingy, do you have any that meet this criteria for your list?
Oh, I'd have to think about it for a little. I mean, there's a few definitive that come to mind.
And I will say
at least one. Let's
say stiff arms count as blocking for yourself.
Nah, I got you. I got at least one good one that really goes down in history for me.
Hit me with it. I'll give you a couple I remember, and we'll see if we can make a list out of this.
Oh, the classic broken jaw.
Keith Rivers, Hines Ward.
The Hines Ward block.
For sure.
That one really sticks out for me as kaboom. Right? There were rules made about that.
Number 2 for me. Okay. Number 3 was Limas Sweed just dropped a 60-yard pass, goes and crackbacks a Cincinnati Bengal on the sideline. I loved that one. Poor Limas could never catch a football, the anxiety issues, all that shit in his own head. But that one will always live for me. And Gingy, dude, for me, the block that is just the thing I can never forget. And I don't think it was as hard as the Hines Ward one. I don't think it was so much. But the oh damn effect of Juju Smith-Schuster decleating Vontaze frickin' Burfict just is that was the Steeler moment for me, because not only does he do that shit, he flexed on his ass afterwards, man.
Crackback stood over top of him. Make good for a good silhouette t-shirt.
Oh my god, man. That one, when I think that thing, that just lives in my mind. And I was trying to give you the stiff arm one just so that if you didn't have any, you could be like, oh yeah, Vance McDonald sent Chris Conti to the IR, right?
Yeah, he launched him like 5 feet, but I didn't think that's about a block. But the crackback from Juju, that's very memorable.
That one for me. So Gingy, we got a few there. Do you think the list is fine, or are you Hines Ward over Juju?
I'm still Hines Ward over Juju. They made rules over that block, and that was brutal, man.
Yeah,
that was absolutely brutal.
That certainly was. Trying to think.
Honorable mention anytime Dan Kreider throws a block.
I was gonna say there were some good ones of the bus drivers going through there. Fumatuma Fala laid one out.
Yeah.
I remember a Najee Davenport on a blitz pickup, like literally knocking the helmet off of I believe it was an Oakland Raider at the time. And I thought Najee killed a man because all I saw was a helmet rolling on the field. There was that one from Najee that sticks in my head. So there have been some good ones, and I think the list is pretty fair. I think if you're a Steelers fan from our generation, those are without a doubt the two that stick out, right? Hey, if there's any older Steeler fans that remember the 70s team or remember some killer blocks, please feel free to leave them in the comments because I would love to go check those things out on the YouTube. Oh, this play happened. Let me go see if I can find it type of thing. Back in the days where you could block people into, signs and stuff. I also have to say, mainly because the season didn't turn out the way it was, but Darnell Washington putting Darius Slay into the fans, dude, that's a good one too.
Completely into the fans.
I want to see that happen in training camp. Okay, I want to see Darnell Washington 1-on-1 with Darius Slay. That's what I want. Maybe we get a little DK Metcalf on Jalen Ramsey on the other side. It's just like a full-out brawl to start training camp.
We just need some harmony. We don't need any of that, donkey. Just some harmony over there.
Dude, we brought in way too many big personalities to have harmony. It just needs to be fun. Okay? As long as they're winning, the personalities will stay in check. As soon as they start losing, there's going to be fingers pointed every direction. It's going to be like the damn Spider-Man meme, man. Except it's the whole Steelers roster just pointing at each other. It's your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault.
I get
and you see Tomlin digging a hole so no one can point the finger at him. Okay? That's what it's going to be.
Oh,
we were a little too sensical at the start of this. It had to go off the rails at some point, okay? I had to make sure that happened. So should we... And Gingy ain't gonna get a shout out. So, Gingy, you have any closing thoughts before I give my shout out?
I'm pretty satisfied with that discussion.
Me too. It went a lot better than fully expected. I hope the audio didn't cut out too bad at the end because I think that was a really good talk about TJ Watt, where a fan perspective should be, and then where an organizational business standpoint should be. And with that, I'll go ahead and I'll say my shout out for the week is Paul Skeens making the All-Star game for the Pirates and having the most ridiculous start to a career I've ever seen. Dude still owns a sub-2 career ERA. That's nuts. Gonna go ahead and give a baseball shout out because there's no football stuff going on.
Dude, is he like 4-9?
4-8,
like a 1.9
ERA.
ERA.
4-8 with a 1.92 ERA, dude. It's terrible. This team, the Pittsburgh Pirates, are like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They think you can win with only defense, but then they realize, oh shit, you have to score points too. And they always run into problems. The only difference is the Pittsburgh Pirates play in a non-salary capped league and the Steelers play in a salary capped league. Personal opinion, only difference between these two organizations at this point.
Yikes.
At least over the last 10 years. Let me put a caveat on there because I don't want people thinking I'm saying into history. Nah, dude, the only difference in the last 10 years is the salary cap. Plain and simple. Let it be known that I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey at Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of Donkey Gingers, where you get all these fun, hot takes, nonsensical talk, sometimes super serious Steelers talk, and once in a while, a really good idea comes from it. You know it's true. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you like. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. And Gingy, you gotta let them know.
Gingy in the house, hanging out, talking football. Wave him if you got him. TJ, come on, baby. Let's do something. Let's go. Here we go, Steelers.